Hello, and welcome back to Specimen the Sociologist. This is your host, Jessamyn Reichmann. Now, if you know me on a personal level, you know that I have a terrible habit of sending very long voice memos. Not 2 minutes, not five. And honestly, I think the longest voice memo I ever sent was probably like 45 minutes, which at that point, I probably should have just called my friend. But anywho, one day I thought to myself, why not bring that silly habit right on over here to this platform? A space where I can talk about anything, whether that be science, sociology, or perhaps sweet nothings. Now, for today's topic, we are going to talk about the lost art of writing a handwritten letter. Now, I was raised by a grandmother who drilled it into my sister and I's head that we always ought to write a letter. Whether you receive a gift, you need to write a letter. It's the first day of school, you still need to write a letter. And most importantly, if you have a crush, girl, you need to write a letter. Now, she also taught us proper penmanship, how to address an envelope, and most importantly, how to make it personal. So, like any bad habit over the years, it just stuck. And now I've collected probably about 400 plus letters, whether that be from middle school, high school, college, and beyond, like every era of my life. It's perfectly compacted into this suitcase that now lives in my closet. Which I know it's a very cute vintage suitcase and it has like wooden handles and like fabric outing. So I would never practically use it, but stylish wise, yeah, she's kind of cute. I'm pretty confident stylish is not a word. Anyways, what's most beautiful is that each of those letters, they serve as a timestamp. Whoever I was to that person in that moment, I get to revisit that version of myself. Whether it's some friends that I no longer speak to, or perhaps mentors who we once were close, but now we're just LinkedIn buddies. It's really fascinating to see how relationships naturally evolve. However, the one constant will always and forever be you. And one of the things that I cherish most is whether it's letters that I receive from friends in New Orleans, in Amsterdam, New York, or even here in Seattle, they all echo kind of the same themes, whether it's my kindness, my spontaneity, or my silliness. So it's just so beautiful to be on the receiving end of course, a handwritten letter, which I'm gonna take a quick little water break. Which, side note, if you're listening, I love sparkling water. Favorite flavor is honestly coconut. Because I feel like when I close my eyes and I take a sip, dude, I'm like transported to the Bahamas. You know what I mean? But, anyways, now let's talk about being on the sender side of a handwritten letter. Because when you actually write a letter, it forces you to slow down and to kind of sober up a little bit. Because you can't just shoot off a thinking of you text or a how you doing text or hey, this reminded me of you text. Like, no, you have to sit your little touche down, grab a pen, and write 4 or 5 coherent paragraphs about what you actually feel. And it's such a valuable skill and it strengthens your comprehension. And honestly, it's an act of love. This is such a tangent. One reason why so many people are single is because they're not writing love letters. Like, I need you to bring back the Romeo and Juliet energy. Like, give me Pride and Prejudice. Like, throwing out, where art thou? Like, give me something good to work with. But anyways, people just mostly get bills in the mail these days. But imagine opening your mailbox and finding a letter. Is that not like the coolest thing in the entire world? But anyways, it reminds me of a friend of mine from back in the day. It was his birthday. I wrote him a cheeky birthday card, and he sent me a letter back. Now, he and his family, they were traveling to Singapore, and he found this beautiful sunset card. And in his note, he wrote that it reminded me of him, how I love the sunsets, nature, architecture, and of course, grabbing a sunset happy hour drink. So it was just beautiful how that one letter captured a whole entire season of friendship, which now I get to have forever. So please don't underestimate the power of a handwritten note. And actually, thinking of that, In our last episode, we talked about the sociology of anxiety and how new thought patterns can change your feedback loop. So if you only marinate on negative things, you'll start to feel those things. And honestly, I would say that letter writing can be a form of healing. It's grounding. And sometimes for myself, whenever I read old letters, I think, wow, like where was that confidence I had when I was 18? And it reminds me that every past version of myself made it through something and it grew from it. And that honestly gives me confidence now. So maybe picking up a pen and putting down your phone could help quiet some of those anxious thoughts and reconnect you to a value-based, heart-centered form of communication. Um, but if I can be completely honest, it's 11:42 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and I have work at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I'm probably going to end this voice memo. But anyways, this has been Specimen the Sociologist, aka Jessamyn Reichmann, reminding you to write handwritten letters and make sure they're love letters. Like throw in a love letter before the year ends. Even if this person isn't expecting one, just write it. Just have fun. But anyways, I adore you. Have a powerful day. And yeah, toodaloo.